Hi friends, welcome back. If you watching our channel first time, please subscribe our video and our channel. And also, if you are not listen first three parts, you please watch those videos to understand this video completely. And yes, in previous class we have completed measurement and recognition and what are the cost include there. So I just want to recap those previous costs. What are the elements of cost and what are the measurements of cost at recognition. At recognition, if any PPA qualifies the recognition criteria, we measure that PPA at cost. We are wrapping this for this summary now. I hope you understand. I have given detailed explanation in the previous video. In the element of cost, while you particularly acquiring the asset, and sometimes you cannot directly acquire that asset. You can acquire that asset and also build some internal works for that. And then in those cases, what are the components of cost? There are purchase price, imports and non-refundable duties, and then you should give discounts and rebates also exclude from the cost price. And you should add all direct attributable cost, what we call bringing that asset to the location or condition necessary capable to operating in the manner intended by the management. So you should initially estimate the cost of dismantling or removing of an item or restoring of any site. All these costs also you should check if it is come under the provision that debit part should be added to the PPE at the time of purchase during the usage other than the produce for inventory purpose. This inventory purpose I already explained. Like if it is an obligation under 37, is then when it is at the time of acquired and it is then permanent disablement, then you should add under Ind AS. Or if it is in day-to-day regular usage business to create an inventory, if you are doing any dismantling of year-to-year restorations, those are covered under Ind AS too. You should add them in the inventories cost. Else, if it is a permanent disablement estimation, as per this standard, you should estimate any obligation for those end of the period, and you should give present value for them, and then add to the PPE. Say suppose it is a chemical catalytic pollution cleanup. Factory machine produces chemicals, but every year due to production, waste must be cleared. So every year you are clearing this wastage, right? So this should be an inventory, not an PP, because every year you are doing. Say suppose if the chemical pollution cleanup is at the end stage, I mean at the clearing the project. In that situation, you should account this as an we should account this as an inventory if it is in temporary, like I mean year to year. If it is in permanent, if it is permanent at the one time settlement for at the disposal time of the PPE, in that case the estimated cost of that obligation, you should give the present value for that, and then you add that cost to the PPE. I hope you understand till now in the yesterday classes. Today we will discuss. Yesterday we have discussed these concepts also, like what are the costs attributable to the employee benefits and the site preparations and initial cost deliveries and handling cost and delivery cost and the installation and assembling costs and professional fees, if any, all should be the components of cost. These are the examples only. Based on the situation, you can the cost of testing also. I have told that you should add cost of testing after realizing the sale of goods. Uh, you should not account this as other income if you sell any sale proceedings, if you sell any testing products. So that should reduce from the testing cost and show and add that net proceeding should the PPE. Till that summary we have completed in the part 3. Now in the part 4 we should see what are the costs not included in the summary, I mean not included in the PPE, and also what are the costs for self-constructed and asset or barrier plans. So this is the continuation of that what we call components of the cost. All direct expenditures in the earlier slide I have explained, right? All direct expenditure, the employee cost, whatever we incur to build that self-constructed asset, you should include all expenses directly attributable to the particular constructing PPE. Apart from this, you should include borrowing cost also as per Ind AS 23. I will explain detail in this Ind AS 23 while going to the standard what is discussed. If if this construction of the PPE, if it takes substantial period of time to complete this project, so if you have borrowed any funds from this or your general borrowings, that period of interest from this period to from start date to end date, I mean for the intentional purpose date, that period what is the substantial time is there, no, that interest should be added to the cost of the PPE instead of interest cost. I hope this you understand. I will so that interest cost should also add it to the PPE if that asset has taken substantial period of time to construct and self constructed asset. I hope you understand till now. And you should eliminate all internal profits if any. I already explained you, right? If you sell any goods or if you buy any I mean, if you buy any material for that and share it as a scrap after removing, or if you while producing this PPE, you have produced few scraps. You that may not useful for you, but it can be it has a market value to sell it. So in that case, you can sell them as a in a secondary markets or primary markets. That sale processing should also reduce from your uh, cost of the construction and uh, while calculating the PPE value. So for self-constructed assets, and also you should eliminate all what we call abnormal losses. You should eliminate them completely. If any abnormal losses, you should eliminate. Say suppose the production cost is 1000 and the units is 100. While in the process the capacity, the cost of the this capacity for 100 units at the 90 units only come. Say suppose in the if you constructing the PPE, there are few tools you have to fit here with a with an welding and some assembling work should be there. In those the normal capacity is 100 for 100 tools you should have an 90 fittings will come, but those 90 fittings is a normal capacity case, but your actual capacity is 90 only delivered. The abnormal loss between for budget of 1000, you could have produced 100 assemblings fittings sessions, but here you have produced only 90. You should take cost for 90 only, because this abnormal loss, this 10 units abnormal loss should be eliminated from your PPE. That should be abnormal as indirect expenditures for your P&L account, not an PPE cost in these situations. So I already explained, if any testing cases, you should eliminate internal profits or any testing proceedings, sale proceedings, you should eliminate from the testing cost, and if should add net proceedings only while you adding the PPE. Until now we have completed what are the cost included in the self-constructed assets or burial plans apart from the buying products also. And then we should understood what are the costs we should not include in the PPE. Now, till now we have seen what are the costs included in the PPE. Now we should know what are the costs should not include in the PPE. First one is conducting business in year or conducting business in a new location or new customer. So suppose if you add any marketing sales or cost incurred to introducing a new project or service or that is marketing and advertisement expenditure. Say suppose out of from this particular PPE, if you able to sell, say suppose if you able to produce uh, say suppose shoes, while you selling those shoes you should do some marketing Say suppose you appoint few freelancers and you appoint few professionals or sports body or film industry famous personality. If you appoint them as a brand ambassador, these costs should not be included in the PPE as those are selling expenses, not an PPE cost or machinery cost for the producing that shoes. So that PPE item should not be included this uh, marketing or advertisement expenditure. That should be cost to the P&L. And then staff training for any or opening new facility. If you giving training for your staff for a particular period to use that machinery or to use that PPE, what is it? Those are not included in the cost of the PPE, not included. So you should not include the staff cost and training cost. And also if you are opening any new facility or new factory, that is also not new building costs. Say suppose you are constructing one plant here, you are opening one more facility here, you should not include this facility cost to this PPE. So your new facility or new ceremony is completely related to advertisement purpose, not for the cost purpose. Conducting business in new location or new customer, to find any new customer or conducting any new location. Say suppose here you are building in a Hyderabad location, you are building one PPE. But in Bangalore location, if you want to conduct any new business, that new business should not add to the Hyderabad location business. That is also not included in the PPE. I know these are the silly examples, but still you should note them while you preparing for the examination. It would be okay to grasp them, but while you writing the exams, it would be difficult to recall all these points. So please listen properly. And then cost incurred in introducing new product. I already explained this. All marketing and advertisement costs should not be included in the PPE cost. And then general administration and overhead expenditures. These costs definitely should not include in the PPE because these are not uh, until the production purpose only, right? So until that PPE item produced in the intended purpose only, you should include. Post that, you should cast them as an G and a general and administration expenditure only in your P&L account from debit side. Okay, I hope you understand. But till now, and then some incidental operations would be also there that we'll see in the next slide. And then there are few incidental operations also conducted by the entity. What are the incidental operations? Means, say suppose you have one land. In that land you want to construct a big power plant. So these PPE will take minimum 3 to 5 years time to construct the power plant. Okay, from this power plant you want to produce a few machinery and everything, that power and whatever it is. This plant, before constructing this plant, there is a idle space in your site. There is an idle space in your site. So in this site you have given some rent. You have given to rent the space for other business guys or personalities to use this space for this 2 3 to 5 years for a side income. And you have produced little bit. Say suppose this project value is 1,000 crores. No, you have produced 20 to 50 lakhs here per year. So almost it is coming to 80 lakhs to 1 crore per 3 to 5 years or 2 crores. This incidental income is there. You have incurred some incidental operations are there. These are not for the business purpose. These are not for the business purpose. I mean, these are not for the PPE construction purpose. In that case, all these incidental income, you should not reduce this incidental income from this construction cost of the PPE. You should you should cast this as an item as an P&L item as an separate other income. This is same as testing cost item, but there is a small difference between the incidental operations and the testing cost. I will explain in detail again. I hope you understand till now what is the incidental cost. Before I go to the incidental examples, I will clarify one important thing here. Say suppose while you constructing PPE, there will be two cases. One is testing and one is incidental operations. I will tell examples what are the incidental operations. But testing, you know, right? You need to test your PPE capacity or production quality, one quality and quality purpose. You could have do some testing operations. From those, you will get some sample items. While selling the sample items, you will get some sale proceeds. You will get some sale proceed. That amount should not be other income, because the testing is one of the mandatory step or mandatory event or milestone to construct the particular PPE to put an asset for a intended purpose. So this testing will decide whether PPT is performing well or not. This is the part of the construction cost. I mean, it is the part of the PPE step, construction step. So that is why these testing cost will include in cost of the PPE. In that case, if any sale proceedings from the testing operations, you should net it off from your testing cost. That is what PPE, I mean, the standard suggests. But incidental operations are not required to compulsory. So you don't need to uh, give rent to the others to construct this building. So whether you give or not, this construction of the PPE will happens. So that is not a directly relationship to these words. So these ideal space using or capacity using to sharing with others, these are for the finance adjustment or intelligent step to use the ideal times. That is an business call would would help us for the short term purposes, short term fund purposes. So those income should not be reduced from the PPE, should not reduce from PPT here. This will go to P&L account, other income. So ICAI definitely will ask this kind of questions. They will give one testing income, and also they will give one testing income, and they also give one incidental operation income in the question. So student may confuse one, either both will transfer to other income, either they both will reduce from PPE. Both are incorrect, right? You should reduce testing income from testing cost, or else from PPE cost. You should reduce this. If it is an incidental operation, if you get any income or sale proceedings, you should directly transfer this income as other income in P&L. You should not reduce this other income from the PPE cost. What are the incidental operations? We will go through them. Building site as a car park until construction is completed. So if you give any car parking, if you give any space to the car parking, uh, or any other purposes, parking purpose or any other purpose for renting other persons for until the construction period completed. So this is an unrelated to construct the PPE. So you should not include this, you should not reduce this other income from the PPE cost. It should be a P&L income, not reduced from are reduced from PPE cost. Temporary advertising hoardings on the construction site. So your site is there, and you have given from hoardings there. So under the construction site, they put few border hoardings. They advertise their products. No, that is also temporary purpose. That is not relevant for your PPE construction. You should not reduce this income from the PPE. It should be an other income directly. And then film shooting event or usage at a site. See, there will be some political meetings and there will be some events. There will be film shooting for the empty sites or MC construction plants. So in that, for that, that is also not required to construct your PPE. You should not reduce that other income, some for this kind of incomes from the PPE cost. That should be an other income. You should not reduce this from the PPE cost. And temporary warehouse rental before own use. This is also temporary warehouse also is an incidental operation. It is not a mandatory event to build the PPE. You should not reduce this from the PPE cost. You should add this as other income in the PPE item. And then temporary farmeries or agriculture in industrial land. There is one industrial land here. One second. There is one industrial land here. In this, the total 10 acres are there. In this, you are constructing one plant. So before you constructing, it will take 10 years or 5 years of time. So you have given this land for temporary farming or agriculture in this industrial land. Say suppose they will produce few vegetables or fruits or some leafy vegetables, whatever they call. So these incidental operations will help them for their agriculture purpose. But it is not necessary to construct this plant. So this is also an incidental operation. So you should not include this, you should not reduce this incidental income from PPE. You should account this as an other income under P&L account. I hope you understand this what examples of the incidental operations. These examples might be case to case. This will differ from case to case, but you understand the emotion here. Like if it is in testing income, you should reduce from the cost of the PPE, or you should reduce from the testing cost. But if it is an incidental operation income, you should not reduce this from the PPE. It should be a other income. Don't confuse if any questions come from this concept. Before, we already explained this. Is this activity necessarily to make the PPE ready for intentional purpose? If this condition is yes, it should be a PPE. If the condition is no, it is an incidental operation. I already explained you, right? It should be a necessary to condition for the intention purpose. If that activity is required, this kind, if you satisfy this condition, it should be a PPE. You can reduce this cost from the PPE cost, your overall construction cost. But if it is an incidental operation, direct route through P&L account. No need to remove from PPE cost as a testing, because testing is a necessary operation. Because testing is one of the mandatory proceedings to check the PPE. I hope you understand this slide. And then cessation of the capitalization. I mean, when we need to cease, I mean, while you constructing the capitalization, when you need to cease that capitalization. So in this, when PPE is in the location and condition necessary for it to be capable of operating in a manner intended by the management. If this condition is satisfied, yes, cease the recognition of the cost of the in the carrying amount. Until that date, you should track all your labor cost and overheads. Until that date, you should add. If it is now, you should add those costs to the carrying value of the PPE. One, if PPE in a location intended by the management and actual date of the usage. there should be a gap for usage. The cost incurred in this gap should not be cannot be added to the PPE. I will come with the example. Say suppose you are in the financial year 2026 and 27, or else tax year nowadays. Tax year 26, 27. In the month of April, there will be a opening construction cost, and in the month of June, you have incurred few cost here, and in the month of July, you have achieved the intended purpose. This in the manner in which intended by the management, you have constructed one PPE year and you have completed your project. The intention of this class is the cost incurred from this date, I mean from April and before April also, and from April to June in the financial year, you should add all the cost incurred till the management intended purpose, should add the PPE. Say suppose particular one employee is there, he working from year to next financial year also, but that employee cost till this date, till this July, should add to the PPE item, and from after July, you should add that employee cost to the employee cost. I mean salaries to salaries payable. Here PPE, the salary should transfer to PPE till June, till July, because your intention PPE, your intended PPE as constructed in this July. But you started using this machine in the month of September or in the month of October. You started using you machine in the month of October. From August and September cost, you should not add to the PPE again. So your usage is doesn't matter. The actual usage is doesn't matter to stop the seizing to stop the capitalization. So your capitalization will stop or will cease when you achieved your intended asset on a particular date. Once you achieved, you should cease your capitalization. I mean these employees or any overheads or any rentals or any borrowing costs. You should freeze them. You should cease them until the intended purpose. The incidental operation loss or output on and low demand time. There is one more. There is one more concept is there. Say suppose due to these operations, once you constructed or completed your PPA, you should not immediately start or will get demand for that particular item. There might be delay of your production process due to the low demand process. Say suppose in the earlier example, you have completed that asset in July 2026. But in July, there is low demand for your product. You could able to use and you have used that month July. So suppose the demand is only for 1,000 products. You produced only 1,000, but the actual capacity of this machine is 5 lakhs. In this situation, you should not assume that I didn't use for the till the actual capacity, so I can till capitalize the cost after the July also. Is that intention is incorrect. Once you completed this PPE and for intended use, I mean that intended purpose by the management in the month of July, that will freeze your capitalization. I mean seizing your capitalization. Uh, you should not tell this reason like low demand or in case incidental operation losses, because there may for this production you may get loss, right? So these losses should cover from your PPE. This is incorrect. So if it is in low demand or if it is an incidental operation loss, whatever it is, you should cease the capitalization once you completed that asset for your intended purpose. The cost of relocation, if any, that should not be added again. you have completed this. Say suppose one more example. You have completed one PPE here. You have completed one PPE, and then plant A, plant B. In plant A, you have completed one PPE and you use it 3 months, and then you want to transfer this property to plant B, and you have shifted from year to year, and you have incurred from conversion, shifting cost. You should not add this shifting cost to this, and say suppose this is in July month, in the December you have shifted from year, in December 26 you have shifted one PPE from year to year, and you say that in plant B I have intended purpose of December, so I should add cost till December. You should not do like this. So in the month of July you have completed this PPE for its purpose. The shifting cost or relocation is for business smooth operational thing. It is not a construction part of the PPE. So you should not those should not continue calculation because of the your operational things, because shifting the location or shifting the things is an operational things for the as per the standard. You should not add them under the add those costs under the PPE. You should add them as an regular operational expenditures. And then cost due to low demand or industrial strike. There should be industrial strike also. Sometimes if you have constructed your asset in July and it has industrial strike for 3 months, you couldn't able to use those, but there are strikes because of the strike. But the purpose is survived in July itself. So in those situations, you are free. You add you seize this calculation by July only. You should not add cost of this strike period to the PPE. It should be in your regular operation only. And relocation of the staff to the new factory is the same. Either you shift the building or all these relocation costs will not be included in the cost of the PPE. I hope you understand this situation also. And in the next classes, I will cover. We will start the measurement of cost. We have concluded only components of cost. Then we will start measurement as per the standard. How to measure, like if it's a deferred payments, or if it's an equation on the, there will be a beautiful concept in the PPE 16, like if you acquired exchange of non-monetary benefit or both, and how should we explain that one, and what are the deferred payments method, and how should we account this under PPE, and also what is the non-mandatory asset, how should be the commercial, do you have any commercial substance, what is the commercial substance, either what are the examples for the commercial substance. There are a lot of examples we have draft them. And then if it is a commercial substance, how it has to account. If it doesn't have a commercial substance, how we have to account them. And also what are the measurement after recognition. All these concepts will come in the next classes. So I hope you understand till now, and if you feel we are putting few efforts to bring this concept to your level, you please subscribe our channel and refer to your friends who it would be helpful for them. And as also, thank you very much. Stay tuned. Bye bye.